Hey there, welcome to the Film Prospector, a channel where I attempt to find gold in the sludge of movies that I've never even heard of. Today I'm looking at Where Have All the People Gone? From 1974, this was originally a pilot to a TV series, but that was never made and this was turned into a 74-minute TV movie instead. Solar flares have killed off almost everyone on Earth, and a family of survivors have to try and find their way home while trying to figure out what happened. Our main protagonist here is scientist Stephen Anders, played by Peter Graves. He's probably best known for his work in Mission Impossible and Airplane.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
The kids are David and Deborah Anders, played by George O'Hanlon Jr. and Kathleen Quinlan. Kathleen was nominated for an Oscar for being Tom Hanks's wife in Apollo 13. George was briefly the dad of a young Michael Myers in Halloween. Along the way, they meet a variety of characters, most notably Verna Bloom as Jenny. Verna played Jesus' mum in The Last Temptation of Christ, along with notable roles in After Hours, High Plains Drifter, Animal House, and plenty more. She's generally very good here as someone who's been traumatised and struggling to deal with it. The director is John Llewellyn Moxey, a British guy who started off directing UK TV shows such as Coronation Street and Z-Cars in the early 60s. By the 70s, he was directing The Avengers, The Saint, YE50 and Mission Impossible. So, in 1974, he must have been seen as a safe pair of hands for TV pilots like this. While his style is generally functional here, there's some nice compositions and crane shots which make this look a little bit classier than it probably needed to be.
Only the ones with the keys in the ignition. They must have been running when this thing happened. We wasted all that time with the blazer and the batteries.
Well, at least now we know what to look for. We'll find one. Okay, get up.
The empty world we spend most of the time in here is believable, and we have a good mix of locations ranging from the hills and forest where we first meet the Anders family, to the dusty towns and highways they travel to. Eventually they get to an impressively bleak and empty LA. This isn't just a vast empty desert with a few abandoned cars.
Los Angeles. Empty and lonely. It was almost as if I could feel and hear all those people, and there was no one there. It was like they were haunting us all the way to Malibu Canyon.
The bleakness is reflected in the people. The family go through various stages of despair as they try and get back to their mother's house by the beach, not knowing whether she's alive or dead.
David.
It's not a nuclear war. It's not the whole world. It's just her, that's all. And Mom's not here. She's home and she's alive, just like us.
David!
Jenny's family survived the solar flares but were killed in the chaos that followed, leading to her detachment from reality.
They did it. They killed them. The dogs. The dogs killed my children.
Other characters have their own motivations for either helping out or actively preventing the family from trying to make their way back home.
Well, you can't just leave us out here without food or water.
Better that than dead.
What's ahead of us?
Nothing.
I won't give away the ending, as I think this is worth a watch if you're interested in 70s TV and post-apocalypse shows, but it's left open enough that it could have easily carried this on for a series or two. It's a bit of a shame they didn't, as I think there's plenty that they could have done, with different groups of survivors, wild animals to run away from, cupboards of food to wolf down and then laugh hysterically at.
Hey, we're gonna get sick.
So, how much gold do we have in Where Have All the People Gone? Some of the acting isn't the greatest. Some parts of it do feel a bit slow and episodic, as if the breaks for the adverts are still in there. It does take a little while before the plot really gets going. Although there is visual flair in some places, a lot of it looks very much like 70s TV, which of course it is. But there are some good performances. Peter Graves is always watchable, and here he's exactly what you want from a scientist dad in this situation. He gives us just enough science talk to make the situation sound believable, while also selling that he's scared but trying to keep it together for his kids.
Come on, let's get out of here. Come on.
There are some nice visual touches, and most of this does appear to be shot out on location. We're not just stuck in some dingy studio or even out on the backlot.
Is she crazy? Something really terrible happened to her. She hasn't told us yet, but she will.
She stares at me.
That's a good sign. That means you interest her.
There's a genuinely creepy and disturbing atmosphere. This comes from the empty locations, and we're not just relying on some cartoonishly evil characters or even post-apocalyptic monsters. The threats in this world do feel real.
Ellie, don't go there. I got my wife and kids out. The city's a nightmare. Some people went mad. Like the dogs. Dogs everywhere. Packs of them. I've seen things. My kids have seen things.
Daddy, don't hurt
So, adding all this up, Where Have All the People Gone has scraped out 4.5 grams of gold. At current conversion rates, this is just enough to buy around 280 bars of Kendall mint cake. That should keep you going for a while after the apocalypse. That's it for now. I'm off back down the movie mines to get digging because who knows what I'll find. See you next time to find out.
You all right? Yeah.